agroecology. And how many of you here understand agroecology, especially the students in academia? You understand agroecology? By show of hands. Comrades. So we've been speaking terms that you don't understand, right? But no one was asking, what is agroecology? Okay. I'm going to invite Mr. Xavier Mak-kristo to explain agroecology for climate action in practice. But I'm going to request him that he first breaks down agroecology, that you understand it, because I thought we had Makerere and some of these terms were actually easy. Let's welcome him. But in a special way, we want to recognize the representative from the Danish embassy, the technical person who was sent. Please, we request that you stand up for recognition. She has walked out, but we want to appreciate the Danish embassy. I know you're watching online, Your Excellency. Thank you so much for sending us such representation. We appreciate the support, notwithstanding the actions we're going to take. Xavier Mak-kristo, explain agroecology.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please. I'm going to use a farmer's English. My name is Mak-kristo Xavier. I'm a farmer and a social entrepreneur. So I'm going to speak a farmer's English that is very simple to understand. So that even my other brothers and sisters will also flow with me. But before I go on any further, in a special way, Brother Andrew Chamagero, when you're introducing people, I was waiting for the farmers. I saw all the farmers down. How many farmers do you have in the room? So in a special way, I'd like to congratulate and thank you for sacrificing that small time to come and be with us here. I also salute my brother from LCM. Agroecology. Please, can you play the video? Just a small clip. That explains agroecology.
Once in a while. Last year alone we planted over 18,000 trees. These trees were planted in the community, in schools. We had done a big disservice to the environment. And about climate justice, everything around us, everything we coexist with, everything within our eco-environment needs justice. So we have to give justice to our soils, to our trees, to everything above, within and below the ground. So that's why right now, in response to that, we are planting trees, we are using organic pesticides, we are using organic fertilizers to mitigate all these effects called the climate change you're seeing right now.
Agro is agriculture, eco is the ecosystem, logi is the system of farming with nature. You're farming, but you're very responsible for anything below the soil, anything on the soil, and anything above the soil. That is agroecology simplified. I hope now we have understood. Okay. I talk on behalf of L3. L3 is a youth-led group doing agroecology in Nebi district. I support communities come up with resilient and sustainable farming practices. That's my work. So this center was established last year with support from ActionAid, with different entities. We have worked together with technical staff from local government, the municipal council, NGOs, partners, and we have worked together with religious leaders, cultural leaders, and local leaders. L3, I said it's on Tukia Hill. We have a vision of improving rural livelihood and creating sustainable food systems for everyone. We are doing this while promoting agroecological principles and rural entrepreneurship through farmer-to-farmer knowledge sharing. We believe there's too much wealth within the farmers that can be applied to solve problems affecting the environment. Looking at that picture, that is the wisdom we get as farmers when we interact with such people. We sat down with community members. The majority, 95%, are youth. But we had to bring in elders like her. We had to bring in the local actors and the cultural leaders. We identified together a problem that you understand its root cause is very well, is easier to solve. So we understood what are the problems affecting these areas. Greater Nebi, we talk of Pakwach, Nebi, and Zombo. Pakwach is known for Nang Nang. I know you have heard of Nang Nang. And fish. Nebi is known for cotton. And Zombo is known as the food basket of West Nile and northern Uganda. However, this specific area is in a village called Pawangpida in Nebi. But if you know anything about Jukia, even the name alone, it's a hilly place, rocky, unproductive, suffered a lot of effects of deforestation. So that is the place we chose to establish our center, with all the signs of climate change and the very clear effects of climate change. And when we sat down with these people, we found out there are so many problems that are in the communities that are affecting them. Since it's a farming community, we have drought, erratic rains, reduced crop yields due to dependence on GMOs and synthetic pesticides and herbicides, gender-based violence, teenage pregnancies, unemployment among the youth, and lack of land rights, especially among the women. Now we sat down. What could be the cause of this? After all that discussion, we realized there is a new trend of, we called it agricultural colonization, industrial agriculture. We called it agricultural colonization because we realized these farmers we are working with, they expect seeds from someone else. They expect fertilizers from someone else. They expect even the pesticides from someone else. And these people come and buy back all this food for their own consumption. We realize there's a problem there. This farmer totally has no sovereignty over the food systems. And once they produce, they sell, they remain without food. And we're like, what it could be the solution? Based on our discussions, we realized agroecology was the only solution since it's a farming community. We define it as a holistic approach to farming that works in harmony with nature, just as I defined earlier. Now there are so many agroecology practices that we find they didn't come from the rocket science and the big English we were hearing yesterday and the morning today. They came from our systems that we really know. We talk about diversity, we talk about cover cropping, integrated pest management, soil health. These practices help us to fight the effects of climate change. So what have we done? Shall we continue lamenting? We took action. We strategized on soil management, use of cover crops, making organic pesticides and fertilizers, intercropping. We train, if you can see the first photo up there, we train community members how you can make your own fertilizers so that you don't depend on someone else to give you something that is in turn going to spoil your soils. So we train them how to make organic pesticides and fertilizers. In the second picture, this is a water harvesting dish. The place is on a hill, so a lot of water flows from the hill and floods the lowlands. So we tap water flowing from the road, and we save it, use it for production in the dry seasons. This reservoir is still under construction, as you can see, but it reserves up to 56,000 liters of water. We have several of them in the center. That center alone stores up to 80,000 liters of water from runoff. That controls the amount of water that is flowing downstream that causes flooding. And the same water is used for production in the dry season. So these are things that are easily applied by anyone. And it's not all at the center, even communities, farmers are adopting these strategies because they're easily to adopt and practice. We are working on creating sustainable food systems as per our vision. We are already doing that. We are planting seeds, or seeds that are resistant. We took a study. When you plant these seeds, these people bring you. How are the yields in the first year of production? They say they are good. In the second year, so these seeds the production rate keeps reducing. And you don't know anything about these seed systems. So we realized the seeds that we have, our own, are better than these ones because you can keep them again and again. And we asked ourselves, how were these seeds kept? We realized the picture in the middle shows us a granary. This is not a witch doctor's shrine. Those who have not moved a lot. Those who have not moved in the rural areas. This is a granary. It's our seed bank. So someone may think it's a witch doctor's shrine. No. So that's where we keep our seeds. On the first picture, as L3, we launched a 1 million tree planting exercise. That we want to achieve this within 5 years. And we did it last year. Last year we planted 16,000 trees. We planted 16,000 trees at the beginning. Towards the end we did more 200. We sealed 18,000. This year we have planted 5,000 trees. That's the data I have. But I was shocked yesterday, when it rained, rain was washing us here. The team behind called me, we have planted 1,000 trees. I was like, guys, salute. Thank you. So it's not something they do with or without me. Anyone is responsible. Because I told you at the beginning, our target is creating a resilient and self-sustainable community. But what do you do the time when you have the opportunity to do it? So you can say germinating tree. That is the trickle-down effect. Out of what we have done, what are we seeing? What is germinating out of that? Improved farmer sovereignty over seed systems. Farmers are now sourcing their own native seeds and using that, and they're propagating it. Meaning they have sovereignty over the seed systems. They no longer have to wait for seeds that are coming from someone else that you have no knowledge about. And that degrades our soils. Adoption of agroecology practices. Our impact from the training ActionNet gave to 35 youth has grown to 540 households. At first, we were focusing at individuals, but we spread them out to households. So we are working with households. These are over 2,000 farmers. The activities of agroecology have promoted safe space and social inclusion for women farmers and groups that we have created as branch of our L3. We also have the ably different persons. Actually, they head the production of organic pesticides. The economic and living status has been boosted. We sat down and we took all our 35 first trained farmers. We identified into detail how much land does each farmer have. We realized one of us had 10 by 10 meters. I think from that wall to somewhere here, square. 10 by 10 meters. And we put a design. How can this farmer with 10 by 10 meters also benefit? We designed a model. If you saw the previous video at the beginning, that is part of the 10 by 10 meter model. A farmer using that model, you cannot earn less than 3.5 to 5 million shillings annually. It's one thing we are trying over for the next 3 years. But in our first year of production, half of our year, we established that in June. But by this year, before I came here, We had already recorded 1.5 million shillings from that place. So we are sure by June this year, we are going to have more from there. We are doing a study for 3 years. We want to create something that really is sustainable and works for the community. So these are the seed banks that we have. We have had knowledge sharing, water conservation, and we have spread out. We started in one village in Pida in Central Division. Right now we are working in all the 3 divisions of Nebi municipality and 3 other neighboring sub-counties. So I have a question here. What can we do? This question is to all of us. In Alur, we have a saying, meaning you feel it within your nerves. So this question, the one you feel touches your nerves best, that's where you should act better. All of us here, we should support agroecology actors. Right from the people who are putting effort to source and maintain our seeds, those who are working on the pesticides and the manure, those who are in any part of agroecology should support them. How? With our funds, in-kind contribution, and create market for agroecology products. On all platforms, advocate for policies that support agroecology, renewable energy, and farmer protection. Educate others about benefits of agroecology. Let's change our choices of food to create the demand. Before I go to this slide, last year, ActionAid gave us an opportunity to go to the Vijana Assembly in Arusha. I was so humbled by my Kenyan brothers. They were supposed to move a motion on AI. They dropped the motion. During our lunch break, where's Asimwe? I think he has gone out. During our lunch break, those people came to me and they told me, can you draft something on agroecology and you present instead of AI? AI is not practical in East Africa. Draft a policy on agroecology and we shall back you up. When I drafted the policy, I shared with the stakeholders. They turned us down. But when they gave us the opportunity to talk about environmental sustainability, I brought in agroecology. And I'm so happy that everyone supported that. So on every platform you have the potential and you have the capability. And before I end, please, I want to thank ActionAid in a special way. You have been so supportive. And as L3, we don't take that for granted. Mentoring and empowering program for young women, MEMPRO. We are so proud of you. Agroecology and Governance Network, behind the scene, you're doing a great job. Pelham Uganda, you have been supportive. We do appreciate. Kota gave us an opportunity to go and train their communities in VP. We do appreciate all those opportunities. And as L3, we are determined to do that. Nebi Municipal Council, please. I'm so humbled, represented by our production officer. By the way, last year, L3 efforts were the best in the entire municipality in showing how we can create sustainable food systems, and we're the best in implementation of that program in the entire municipality and in the entire district. He can attest to that. And then Nebi District Local Government, our forestry officer is in the house here. We so appreciate all the support the district has given us. And I don't think there's any youth group that has planted more than 18,000 trees in Nebi District. So we are just coming. We have not done a lot, we're yet coming. And then, in a special way, please, allow me to request you to stand up. Please, let's rise up. All of us, please, let's rise up. I see people now in the other mood. Please stretch. Just 2 seconds. Okay, thank you. Before you sit down, let's clap our hands I have a team I work with. They work voluntarily. I don't pay them any money because we are not paid, but they work voluntarily. Let's clap our hands and thank Team L3. Those women, they are awesome. Thank you. You may have your seats. As a summarize, please feel free to contact us on those. And you can follow us on Xspace at Agroecology. You can send us an email. You can give us a call anytime. But as L3, we say one thing. The reason for our living is to protect, mend broken vessels like our food systems, culture, above all. Let's restore our brains. We restore our brains to coexist with all creatures. Thank you.
Let's appreciate Xavier Mak-kristo. Agroecology was best introduced to me by Pelham, Uganda.